How's it going, everybody? So, it's been a while since I uploaded a video, and hopefully, this is going to be my final video about DoorDash and uh, whether you can make money off of it or not. So, I've been doing DoorDash for about a month now, and it's been sporadic where it's one day or 2 days in a row. I've never done it 3 days in a row just simply because I don't have enough time. And so last night I'd had about 6 deliveries, uh, and I waited 40 minutes just for one order. So that took away about 40 minutes of uh, my time to get any more orders out so I could have more than just 6 deliveries. This is the main problem that I've run into with all types of delivery services, Uber driving, Lyft driving, Postmates, is the amount of downtime that you have in between rides, in between deliveries, while you're waiting for deliveries. Sometimes you might even have to wait for people to arrive at their destination or wherever you're going to pick them up at. Um, and they might want you to do a stop off somewhere else, and then you'll have to wait for them there. I mean, you really don't have to, but I mean, if you want to get a good rating, you want to get tips, then yeah, I mean, you pretty much have to cater to that person, which is why I don't do Uber anymore or Lyft, because you really actually don't make that much money. They say online that you can make anywhere between 18 and $25 an hour. That's if you're working 100 hours a week and you're driving 200 to 300 miles a day. It's probably better just to drive somebody from an airport to their house for a flat rate and do that 3 or 4 times a day, and then you'll make all the money that you would make if you were driving around town or driving around your city, Uber driving, and you're putting on the same amount of miles, but it's not stop and go. It's all pretty much highway miles. So last night I was delivering, and I went to pick up from a restaurant. I'm not going to say the name, but I waited in the park. I was already in the parking lot when I got the order. So I went inside and I told them I was there for the pickup, and I waited from 9:35 until 10:11, which is a little bit longer than 40 minutes, but it took them so long, and they were very rude. When I was asking to talk to the manager, they said that the manager was in the kitchen helping out. And I wanted to say something, but I pick up from there every weekend, or I always get orders from there, and I kind of don't want to really make them upset, because the next time I come in there, I might have to wait even longer, or they'll give me a problem. And I really don't want that, so I kind of keep my communication between myself and the people that work there down to a minimum, and I try not to irritate them, or they know that they're irritating you by making you wait, because for some reason they don't put the DoorDash orders in until the driver gets there, which is ridiculous. And I have told them many times that as soon as they get the order, they need to put it in so we don't have to sit here and wait, because some of the orders are like $60 worth of food. And from that type of restaurant, $60 worth of food is like a whole grocery bag full of food. It's a lot, and it's almost too big to fit in the DoorDash bag. I very rarely ever have to take drinks from there. But anyways, I had a couple other orders before that, and my phone was dying out, and I have an iPhone. So I had an order at Taco Bell, and there was a woman that was working there, and she was very nice, and it was getting kind of late, and I asked her if she had a phone charger, and thank God she had a really good one, and I plugged it in, and I got about 15% charge while I was waiting for the food. And I had a little bit of time before I had to do another pickup. I added another order onto my route, so, and it wasn't that far away, so I waited for about a good 5 to 10 minutes, and I let my phone charge up, and I gave her back the charger cable, and on my way, I was on my way. So I picked up at the other restaurant, and the other restaurant already had the food ready, and they brought it right out to me with drinks. And that one was kind of a far out drive, but I've noticed that what happens is uh, DoorDash will give you an order and have you pick up the order and drive it to somewhere that's closer to your house when your dash is about to end. And that's happened to me every single time that I have DoorDash, and I've asked two other people that DoorDash in the same area I do, and they all said the same thing, that typically their last order is an order that's picked up from a restaurant and the destination is close to their house, so they're able to just go right home. Now, I started my dash at 7:15, and I kept extending it, and I went all the way until 11 o'clock at night, which actually wasn't that bad. However, what I have noticed is that when you do deliveries like this, you're averaging only $1 a mile. So if you drive 100 miles, you're going to get $100. And 100 miles is actually a lot to be putting on your car, especially if you have like a full-time job and your full-time job pays you well over $100 a day. So if you're working 8 hours and you do DoorDash for 3 to 4 hours a night, every single night, and then you do it all day on the weekends, you can definitely make some really good money, but you're going to be paying for a lot of gas and you're going to be putting a lot of miles on your car. Unless you have a 4-cylinder, you won't have to pay for that much gas. I have a 4-cylinder and it's Toyota, so I get really good gas mileage, but still, it still costs at over $2.50 a gallon. It's like $2.80 by my house a gallon. It costs almost $27 to fill up. So you actually have to make 4 times that amount within 2 days in order to recoup your money, because you're going to burn up all your gas because you're driving in the city and it's all stop and go. But I really enjoy doing this type of work just because of the fact that I don't have to listen to a boss. I can listen to my radio. I can mess around on my phone. I can do whatever I want as long as I get the orders and I get them out. And typically they're all on time. I usually never have a late delivery, which is fantastic. And it keeps my rating up. And when your rating is up, you get a lot more orders. I noticed that a lot of people that DoorDash, they always say, I'm not getting a lot of orders. I'm only getting this, and I'm only getting so much money for every order. The reason why you're only getting that much money for every order is because you're just sitting in one spot. When you drive and you drive up and down, or you make a route around your city or around your area, and that your car is mobile, that the GPS picks that up and it sends it to DoorDash. The same thing with Uber. I was sitting in one spot and I was getting like maybe 2 or 3 Uber rides in 5 hours. So what I did was I made a little route and I started to drive around, and it was, I only did it for about maybe 2 or 3 miles, started to drive around, and my phone started ringing for rides, and I was picking people up left and right. And the same thing with DoorDash. It's basically the same operating system. Who knows? But it's very similar to Uber. All the apps are very similar. They're like cookie cutter apps. And so last night I was just driving around. I only did a couple miles, and I drove pretty slow, and my phone just started ringing, and I started tagging up the orders for DoorDash. Just started picking them up and delivering them. But I started at a late time instead of starting at like 3 in the afternoon or 2. It's probably best to start at 11 o'clock in the morning and go till 2 in the afternoon, and then stop from 2 in the afternoon until about 4:30, and then 4:30 till about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night is when it's actually really you'll get a lot of orders. And if you work those hours, depending on where your city is, if you have more than a population of 250,000, 300,000, you can make $100 to $125 a day if you hustle and get all your orders out, and you communicate with the people at the restaurants and tell them, hey, can you, as soon as you get the DoorDash order, just start cooking it up and I will be here. And then as soon as you get there, you pick it up and you drop it off. And the earlier you drop off, the earlier you deliver the food, your rating goes up really high and you start to get a lot more orders. That's how these companies operate. They basically want you to hustle. You're going to hustle for money no matter what you do. It's not going to come easy. However, if you really want to be efficient at it, you really have to figure out what times are best, what days are best, and you're going to have to drive in bad weather. Yeah, you're going to have to walk out in the rain, all types of stuff. I get out of my car and I bring the food to the people. It's not like Uber Eats where they come to you. You actually have to get out. And last night, a woman tipped me $4 in cash, and she tipped me on the app, like I think it was like $5. And it was that was my last order, and I had trouble kind of trying to find the apartment building because there's so many of them. But I contacted her. She was very nice, and then I found it, and I drove right up, and I walked right to her house, and her kids answered the door, two little kids, and I gave them the food. She gave me some cash money. Hey, and that was it. That was my night. So in about the 4.5, 5 hours that I was driving around, I made almost just under $50, and then plus the cash tip. And I put in about $15 worth of gas in my car because I needed to get a full tank, and that's all it took was about $15 to fill up. And everything was okay. The only bad part was waiting for the food at the one restaurant for 40 minutes. That's the only thing that sucks, because that took off 40 minutes of time that I could have used to make other deliveries, and I could have had 8 or 9, maybe 10 deliveries and made about $60 to $70, which isn't bad, considering that you're only out for maybe 5 or anywhere between 4 and 6 hours. So that's not too bad. But if you really want to do it and make a transition from being a regular employee and working for somebody, you really have to put forth a good effort. And one good way to do this is if you already have a car and it has low miles on it, or even if it has high miles on it, the job that you have that you're making money at, try and save some money and buy another car, a second car, and only use that for deliveries. Just keep gas in it. What I do is I actually have a gas can in my garage that has enough gas in it to fill up my tank. And what I do is I buy gas when it's really cheap, and I'll go to like Walmart or whatever, and I will fill my car up with that gas instead of having to go to the gas station and paying another $1 more a gallon for gas. So I use that, and then every time gas is cheap, I just take it and I go and I fill it up. It's real simple. I plan on getting another car so I can just use that only for deliveries and use my other car as my regular means of transportation, so I don't have to rack up the miles on my daily driver car. I know it might sound like it's spending maybe too much money on a side job, but you can actually also have, if someone else has DoorDash and they want to use your car, or if they don't have a car and they have DoorDash on their phone, you can let them use your car, and you can charge them, to rent your car out. If they do DoorDash like 3 or 4 days a week, or if they do it on the weekends, charge them, $35, $40, and they have to put the gas in, and then you got a little bit of extra money, and you don't have to do anything. It's really not that hard if you figure out how you want to make your situation better by making extra money and not having to work for somebody. Just put your mind to it. It's that simple. So I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.